Okay, so we're live. Hi, Facebook. I'm just gonna go ahead, as per usual, and share this out a few places, and then we're gonna get started. So as you roll on in, go ahead and say hello so that I can acknowledge you and say hello to you. And even if you're watching on the replay, go ahead and say hello as well so that I can acknowledge you and say hello to you, so that I know that you were on. All right, so let's go ahead and share this out in a few places, and then we're gonna get started. One more place. See a few people rolling on in. Hello, happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's doing well. So I wanted to come on and talk about positioning for profits, and I guess more or less this was inspired by some conversations I've been having over the past few weeks with potential clients and people who did come on as clients about really understanding how to convey what it is that you have to offer in a way that is compelling, and it's definitely results driven. So thanks so much for the heart. Appreciate it. And as I'm going along, and if you're finding what I have to say valuable, I'd really appreciate if you guys go ahead and share this out with a friend as well. So let's get right into it. So one of the things that I've been noticing is that people will, especially if you're providing a service. And I mean, a lot of my clients are coaches and consultants and people who generally provide a service, right? And sometimes this was something that I experienced as well. So I'm saying this from my own experience as well. So it's not just that I'm standing on the outside and looking in without any understanding of what this looks like. But it's sometimes really challenging to explain what it is that you do when you're not actually selling someone something physical. So when you're providing a service, sometimes you find it a little bit challenging to communicate effectively what it is that you have to offer. And sometimes what happens is too, I'll ask, a potential client, okay, what's the process like? What does it look like? And I don't necessarily always use the word process because that's such like a business term to use in that sense. But I said, what does it look like? And sometimes people don't know what their process looks like, or they don't have like something outlined that they're going to take people on. And here's the thing. People want to, you can always communicate what the, hi Kenyatta, how are you? Good to see you here. People sometimes want to understand what the process looks like, but at the end of the day, they care more about the results. So you have to be able to tie your process and highlight the result that people are ultimately going to get. So don't just talk about like the features, because the features tell people what they're going to get, and the benefits tell people what they're paying for. So if you don't get anything from what I'm talking about today, remember that features tell. So features do all the telling for you, and benefits do all the selling for you. So features tell and benefits sell. So you want to, of course, highlight what the benefits are, what's in it for them. And one of the ways to ensure that you're positioning yourself for profits is to really outline what that dream come true experience looks like from the perspective of your client or customers, right? So, one of the things like mind mapping is really helpful and really powerful to help you understand this is to really start off with the end result. What does that result look like that person ultimately wants to achieve? And then you can, have your process so that it makes it easy for you to know how to provide that service and how to effectively provide the best service and be able to deal with that person accordingly. But, think about like a cat, think about like a mouse wanting to get a piece of cheese. Like the mouse wants to avoid by all means the cat, right? Everything else is a distraction. Everything else is going to be something that's going to take away from them ultimately getting the cheese. So one of the things that I always keep in mind, it's really helpful for me to keep in mind when it comes on to wanting to, be very much results driven in what I'm communicating, is to say, is this thing I've learned is give people more cheese and less whiskers, right? Because people ultimately want cheese. Everything else is a distraction. Everything else is extra. Everything else doesn't matter. You want to really focus on the thing that's ultimately going to provide that result that that person is looking for. And you want to ensure that what it is that you have to offer is something that people want as well. Too many times I hear, people say, oh, I'm busy. I'm here creating. And I'm like, that's great that you're creating. But is it something that people are actually going to buy? Is it something that is going to provide a transformation for people? Like, those are things to take into account. Why should people buy this? Like, what kind of solution is it that this program, this product, this service is going to deliver on, right? So you want to ensure that you're highlighting that and you're leading with that as opposed to everything else. And like, you don't want to get in the habit of always creating. Like, many times I hear people, oh, I'm creating. I'm like, you're spending so much time creating that you're not selling anything. And then you complain that you're not making any money because you're always creating. Like, what have you sold? Like, get up and sell something as opposed to sit down and create from now until next year. And then you never sell anything as a result. So, and if you're a perfectionist like myself, don't wait until it's perfect, or don't wait until the right time for this thing to be completed before you put it out there. Put it out there now. Like, I mean, version 1 is better than, missing out on the opportunity to put it out there into the market and to get feedback, right? Even if you put it out there, and you don't get the feedback that you wanted, maybe it's just the way that if you didn't have like a strategy in terms of how you were putting it out there and who it is that you're putting whatever product and service out there in front of, like, you want to be clear about who it is that you're putting it in front of as well. So that's some things to kind of wrap your head around when it comes on to positioning for profits, and really being mindful of the experience that, another thing is to also be mindful of the experience that your clients and customers are going to have, because they are the ones that are going to go ahead and orchestrate referrals on your behalf. So those are some things to take into account. I wanted to keep this broadcast pretty short. So if you guys are even watching on the replay and you have questions, feel free to leave your questions down below. And I mentioned yesterday briefly that I'll actually be hosting a training for people who are already on my email list. So if you want to join on my email list to have access to this training, it's completely free. You can join my email list by heading on over to kristajennings.com/cash. And the training will be all about packaging for profits and really packaging what it is that you have to offer in a way that's going to be enticing to your dream and ideal clients and customers. So I'm going to go ahead and end this broadcast here. The link to join my email list is around here on the description of this broadcast. And I will see you guys on tonight's training. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and all the information will be emailed out to you. All right. So I will speak to you guys soon. Bye.